Hello everybody, my name is Sohail Hashmi and welcome to Unplugged. It's really nice to be back with you. This is our second season, and for this beautiful season you can see our surroundings, or I will show you our surroundings. This has taken place in Islamabad. Yes, I've traveled all the way from Karachi to Islamabad to meet these wonderful people that I'm going to introduce to you. First of all, I'm going to introduce you to the lovely and the wonderful Nageen Hyat. But before I do that, let me tell you that the space that we're going to be conducting most of our interviews from is actually Nomad Gallery, which Nageen Hyat is the owner of. The lovely, the gorgeous, the beautiful Nageen Hyat. Kya haal chal hai aapke? How are you?
I'm very well, and thank you so much, Sohail, for having us on your program.
Now, within your portfolio, you are also a human rights activist as well, and going specifically into that is women's rights. But having known you all these years, I know that you're not a man-hater.
No, I'm not a man-hater at all, and I don't even have to qualify that.
Right.
But I'm certainly a women's rights activist and a human rights activist, and I feel that you know, women's rights are human rights, which is sometimes not recognized in our part of the world.
I absolutely agree with you, and I'll give an example of that later. Now, human rights and human rights in Pakistan, again, a very difficult job. What sort of situations do you see yourself or find yourself in with human rights in Pakistan? And you are in the city's capital.
Talking about women's rights, I mean, we've been a part of the movement or journey since the Ziaul Haq times.
Ooh.
And the concerns were of the laws. They were laws that affected women, minorities, and they disturbed all human rights. To date, you know, we are challenging those.
Right.
The movement, the women. The journey has added on a lot of women, like-minded men like yourself, other
Right.
progressive people,
Yes.
people in the arts, creative people. But coming from that and all the difficulties we were facing already, I am a very focused person on development in Pakistan, the youth, women's issues.
Right.
But what has been happening recently has been extremely painful. I mean, being in the capital city, we've had some of the most horrendous, heinous murders that have taken place. And not just one, but one after the other. And partly, all right, we blame the media for a lot of things.
Right.
For highlighting good, bad, indifferent, the truth, and sometimes the untruth also, just to get attention. But I feel in this case, it is very important that since these cases are coming up, they should follow the natural, you know, judicial aspect of law, and very serious punishments should be given to the perpetrators. Because unless a very strong message is sent out by the governments that you cannot violate the law, whether you come from a very affluent background,
Yes,
or
yes.
whether you are a person who is suffering for other reasons, and this becomes an excuse.
Out of all of the things you've seen, how many years have you been doing this altogether with your Nomad?
Nomad, 39 years.
But you look 38.
All right, thank you.
That's really good.
Yeah, I'm very peaceful inside.
Yes, yes, you are. The question which I wanted to ask you was, for a long time, you've done it all, you've seen it all. Has there ever been a time in your life where you've said, okay, let's just pack it up. Yahan pe to kuch nahi hona, nothing's going to happen here. I'm sick and tired of this. To carry it on for 38 years, did these thoughts ever come to your mind?
Sohail, a lot of challenges were there. You're absolutely correct. And it's
I
not
know,
been
I
an
know, I
easy
can imagine.
journey. It's
No,
not
it's
been an
not.
easy journey. But I have never to date ever felt that let's put down the gauntlet and let's give up.
Really?
I'm not a person who wants to give up because this is my passion, this is my life, and this is the only narrative I know. So and on the other hand, I feel that if you have a commitment, then you must see it through. At the moment, you know, with the way conditions are, with the gallery and otherwise, with this COVID scenario, there are a lot of artists, artisans, provincially, locally, who tend to depend on us, and that is a very, very big thing for me to say spiritually. I'm very humbled by that.
Yes.
On the other hand, it's a huge responsibility.
Okay.
Therefore, how many people can you negate or refuse? It's not in my hands. I don't have government or donor funding or anything like that.
But
so
then
we try our best.
There's a lot of, and we're going to be, we've I think put some clips on, or we're putting some clips on, where you are seen giving your views, you're seen in your gallery, you're seen outside of your gallery as a human rights activist. There are ambassadors who come and call on you. There's a lot of stuff happening with you. So it does seem, because of your time and the time you spent here, that you do have a little bit of say in what's going on, or you are able to deflect these things and put your point of view, because you are quite bold.
Well, talking about diplomats or ambassadors or living in the capital city,
Yes.
of course, Nomad's journey has been such that we are linked with the embassies,
Right.
because they will come and visit the gallery, and yes, some do call on me,
Yes.
and we have a discussion about arts, about culture, about human rights, women's rights. That I think is a given.
Right.
Because it is the oldest gallery. But on the other hand, yes, to an extent, when we have worked, for instance, for 6 or 7 years with UN Women on violence against women, or the 16 days of activism against gender violence, that was a very, very powerful journey, and a way that you can actually, your narrative can actually affect people's lives.
So you can write a book.
Well, yes, if you
could write a
help me,
book.
maybe we could put together a couple of books.
No, I think that would be nice to leave that
I enjoy
behind.
it.
Now, Nageen, for young artists who are coming up and people who may want to contact you or take guidance for you and have beautiful paintings like you have all around, if they want to contact you in Islamabad, how can they do that, and how can they keep in contact with you and either come to your private collections, or for people who want to buy paintings, very, very unique paintings, how would they do that?
Well, we are on the net and we are online, and nomadgallery@hotmail.com is a very easy way
Right.
to send me a message.
And I'll have the information underneath as well as to how to get in contact with you.
That'll be great. So they can just contact us, whether they are young artists, and they're constantly, in a week's time, I think anywhere from 5 to 10 artists are contacting us even now.
Right.
And most of them don't realize that because physically we have had to close the gallery
Right.
about a year back because of COVID and because of the pandemic and other issues, we've managed to create a bridge
Right.
between the arts online.
How,
So
how has the sales been online over
Online.
these 1.5 years? How have you managed that?
It's been challenging. It's been
Right.
difficult. But what we've tried to do is online, then we are on Facebook, on Instagram, and also through friends, or we are looking at Pakistanis and others living abroad who have booked paintings. It's not that complicated. So we have a show, an online show once a month, and we try to publicize that as much as possible. It's certainly not the perfect way at the moment. It's a stage that we are going through. But I'm not regretting it, Sohail, because I think it's important that our presence is felt. And then we have our weekly private viewing, where people can call in and they come. And whether it's the international community or it's Pakistanis or artists come for critique of their work, or
Right.
we work with communities, there's been hardly any change.
Okay.
It's difficult, but it's doable.
Right. Now, on a personal point of view, all these years, and I would like to put this on record as well, I have been very proud of you as a mother, as a wife. Your daughter is one of my best friends. Your son, everyone, you've really brought them up really well, and the sort of work that you've done for Pakistan. So I am very happy to know you and very honored to know the kind of work that you are doing. And I just want to tell people that I'm not saying if Nageen Hyat can do this, you can do this too. But it's very heartwarming to know that there are people like you who take your work so seriously. And coming up to 38 years, very soon it's going to be 40 years. And I'm going to be here with you again when that.
But thank you.
when that
Thank
happens.
you so much, Sohail. And your support is much appreciated. And friends like you are a pleasure to have around. And we try to cheer each other up, and we are all carrying on.
Before we finish this, is there anything that you would, a message, maybe perhaps on the arts, that you may want to say to our viewers or people who are listening, that you would like to talk about?
Well, what I could say about the arts is to young people not to give up, to focus with less of a commercial attitude to their work and more of a commitment to their work.
Yes,
Also
yes,
to
yes.
look for critique, to look for an opinion of professionals or others who can help them.
Yes.
Not to, plagiarism should be
Yes.
out. Whether it's in scripts of plays, whether it's content on television, or whether it's in the art world, because too much of that is happening.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us. I feel this is just part one. We're going to keep on coming back and talking to you about many other things, because we want to talk to you about your documentary filmmaking.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
Sohail.
you. Thank
this
you,
has been
and
an
God bless.
absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Nageen Hyat. The information on her gallery I'll be putting at the bottom, so do check it out. Till I see you again the next time, God bless you and your loved ones.